Welcome to another video of the iPad Only book. This is your co-authors, Augusto Pinaud.
And Michael Sliwinski. And in this video, we'll deal about, again, about the iPad gear and iPhone gear, but we'll talk about the fact, which kind of gear is really essential for us, and which one is nice to have, nice to carry because we might sometimes need it, and we do sometimes need it. But what is this essential gear? What's the most important thing for you to carry with you?
Well, I carry little things, but what makes it essential for me is that I use it almost every time I pull the iPad. That's what makes a gear essential for me. Because of the iPad, I want my bag lighter and lighter and lighter, and I want to carry less and less things. So part of my essential gear, because I write so much, is a keyboard. So if I'm going to write for 2 hours or more, I carry my keyboard. And I have my keyboard on a case called Origami that allows me to put the iPad behind, and it's really good. Aside of that, really my rest of my tools are pen. And so, but what make them probably the charger will be if I'm going to be more than 8 hours outside of the office. But what make for me essential is that every time I pull the iPad, or almost every time I pull the iPad, I want to use that gear. Other than that, is the rest of the gear. Okay, it is most of the time. For example, the charger. Charger is not essential for me because unless I'm going to work more than one day, I don't carry that thing. Keyboard. If I'm going to type more than 2 hours outside of my home office, I will. Other than that, it is interesting that all that I carry with me essentially is a Fisher pen, some Levenger rule cards. And the reason I pick Levenger is because it's the only index card I have found that is ruled in the vertical position. Most of the rule index cards are ruled like this, and I don't write like that because I don't make that long of a sentences. So Levenger is the only one I know that you can get ruled on a vertical position, and that's the reason I got them. And the other thing I carry is blank index cards that are really useful, as you may see, for my daughter to draw. But that's my essential gear. And what makes it essential for me is that if I'm carrying the iPad, I'm carrying that almost always.
The essential thing is, I think it's important to raise the point here that we tend to categorize things. Like, for example, getting back to the home screen that we talked about in the last video about the iPhone and the iPad. On my iPad and my iPhone home screens, I used to have apps categorized, writing apps, browsing apps, and all this stuff. But then I found out that out of the writing apps, I use only one all the time, and the rest I use sometimes. And out of the browsing apps, same thing. And then I decided, this is crazy. Why am I needing, to tap twice to get to my favorite app that I use all the time when I can just pull it out and the rest of the apps move somewhere else? And the same happens with the gear. Initially I was just carrying all of my gear in this thing, and it was good. I think everything was here, perfect, and it made sense, right? All the chargers, all the cables, all the connectors, all the everything. But then I discovered that there are some things I need most of the time, right? So for example, I took out, and I talked about it on the other video, the HDMI the connection, right, from the iPhone and iPad. And the thing is, I use it very often because when I visit someone and I want to show them something on their screen, on their big LCD display, I just pull it out, plug it to my iPhone, plug it to their HDMI cable, and I have it on the screen, And I normally wouldn't take it with me because I would have it with all of my gear, right? So this is the thing. I think people should, you should consider that there is just some gear that, in theory, it should be with the other gear, but actually use it so much you should take it apart as your necessary gear. And this is, for example, for me, this HDMI cable. I think, for example, the tripod. I use the Glyph as the iPhone tripod, and so many times I wanted to take a picture with a tripod and I didn't have it because it was with my old gear and didn't have my entire gear with me. Now I take the tripod with me because I know that when I want to take a perfect picture, I want to take a picture of my wife and my children and myself in it, I need a tripod, right? So I have it with me. So this is the thing that we need to get out of this, categorization, because the tripod needs to, belongs with this, and all the, HDMI, VGA, all these connectors, they have to be together. No, if you use one, take it out and take it at your necessary, gear.
Yeah, make the clear distinction between. That's one of the things the iPad allows you to do. Cool. Make the clear distinction between what is real essential and what is just good to carry if you are going into a long thing.
Exactly.
And that has made a really good difference for me on the gear I carry.
But anyway, thanks to the iPad Only way, you will carry less stuff than you think you will. So this is the cool thing. And on this happy note, all the details about our gear are in the book, in the iPad Only book. So make sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this.
Thank you very much.